This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is, and be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishop, and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren out there teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, 144,000, and the rest of the elect out there, shalom. I'm the brother Dama Agabar with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, and as it says here in the 15th chapter, man, see that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, man. Why? Because the days are absolutely evil. You see, and you got to be, circumspect out here. You got to be looking all around. You can't be, out and about in this world, especially now, just, with tunnel vision, or stuck on your phone or, just moving out here unwisely and contentious and arguing and, looking for trouble, looking to get into shit, if you're in this truth, of course, we know before you leave the house, before you go anywhere, you got to send up those prayers, man. Pray that the Most High, give you safe travels, that the Lord, deliver you from, these unruly and ungodly and perverse generation of worldly people out here, because a lot of these people are unhinged. A lot of these people are looking for shit to get into. A lot of these people are hurt, and hurt people want to hurt people. A lot of these people just want to start some shit just to, vent out their frustration. A lot of these people are dealing with shit that, on the surface you may not know, but they're just one argument, one wrong look, one accidental bump, not opening the door, not saying thank you, away from, doing some evil and wickedness, man. And, hey, those of us who are in this truth, man, hey, which brothers know this, we constantly, admonish and speak on these things, but it's just, we understand the times that we're living in and that these days are evil, man. And, hey, Satan, like a roaring lion, is out here trying to devour souls, man. You constantly got Satan out here trying to test you, trying to, put you in a situation to where, you could be tested, so we just got to make sure that we're being very circumspectly and especially now, not looking to get into arguments, not looking to get into petty back and forth, arguments, talking about stupid shit, or even if certain things happen, it'll be wise to just take the L, man. If somebody's trying to start an argument and you can see it's getting out of control, hey, man, just shut it down, take the L, just be like, all right, bro, yeah, you got it, and just walk away, man. Because a lot of crazy shit is going on out here, and a lot of these jakes don't have the, the spiritual acumen to, to navigate themselves in these times, and you got a lot of jake who's on that black shit, on that black culture, black fatigue, nigga shit, to where, fucker, they be damn if you're going to talk to me like you crazy. You ain't going to win an argument. You ain't finna just talk to me however you think you're going to talk to me. And you got a lot of these women that are in that spirit, man. You'll notice a lot of these women are quick to argue, to jump up in a man's face, to talk shit, call you a broke nigga, you got a little dick, you ain't shit, you bum ass nigga, blah, 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 because this society has awarded them the green light and the hall pass to be in this unshamefaced, very aggressive, masculine demeanor. And pretty soon, sometimes that shit get met with brute force. That shit get met with the energy that, sometimes people meet you with the same energy that you give them, and it could lead to bad things happening, man. So I wanted to show you this article. And it doesn't go into all the details, but we know, it's because of, like I said, the days are evil. The love of many is waxing cold. A lot of people are on some psycho shit. A lot of people are totally, desensitized and numb to violence, or to sending you back to the spirit world, or putting hands on you, or worse. And a lot of these women, especially in these last days, are going to find out the hard way that all of this barking, all of this shit talking, all of this thinking you can whoop a man, get in a man's face, want to argue back and talk shit back and be in this masculine frame, is going to get a lot of you sent to the infirmary, or to the IR, or back to the spirit world. And I saw this article from The Guardian. It says, man pours liquid on woman and set her on fire on Chicago subway. See, but read some of this article. It says a woman is currently hospitalized after being set on fire on the Chicago train system, according to police. At around 9:25 p.m. on Monday, a 26-year-old woman was riding the Chicago Transit Authority System Blue Line near Clark Lake Station when she got into an argument with approximately a 45-year-old man. So this is a very younger woman getting in the argument with a 45-year-old man. Somebody, if Jake was in the right mind and Jake had respect, it's a man who was probably an elder. Now, it doesn't go into the details of how the argument started, but at the end of the day, more than likely, I'm sure the woman was barking and talking big shit. You know how these women are, especially if this was a so-called black woman. It doesn't say, but if I was a betting man, I would say more than likely she was a so-called black woman. And you know how these black women are. They have no respect for the so-called black man, no respect for the authority of a black man, especially if he's an older individual or an older gentleman. Once word starts getting said, they don't have no so-called filter. They don't have no respect. They don't have no, they just don't have, they don't have no respect. This says they're, what is this? How does the saying go? They're offended by nothing, but what does it go? I forget how it goes. Something like that. Ashamed by nothing, but offended by everything. You see? So it says that she got into an argument with an approximately 45-year-old man. And the nigga woman, if this is the nigga woman, or just these women in general nowadays, they don't know how to stop. They can't just shut up. They can't just sit down. Now, like I said, they're very aggressive. They'll get in your face. They'll talk shit. They'll put their fingers in your face. Even when you're trying to de-escalate, and even if you try to just stop talking, they'll just keep going and going and going. And this is why you women need to really humble yourselves, man, and understand that, hey, these days are evil, man. You got a lot of these men who's tired of the bullshit. A lot of these men who've been, put through the ringer by a lot of so-called women and are just, one argument or one incident from becoming unhinged. But let me get this, though. I got a couple of precepts I want to get into. It says, this is Proverbs chapter 17, verse 27. It says, I read in the NOT, I say, a truly wise person uses few words. A person with understanding is even tempered. You see? Somebody who's wise, they're, especially if you see somebody just want to argue and want to yell and yell. Sometimes the best thing to do is just to be quiet, man. Especially if it's with a woman. And that's the last thing brothers should be doing, is arguing with women, especially with women that you don't even know. With a woman a woman you might have to ride the bus, and some nigga woman, words ensue. It's no point in arguing with a woman. It's a lose-lose situation. You're never going to win. And especially in this climate and in this time, how the energy that these women are coming in. So it's best to use wisdom and ultimately just take the L, man. It says, even fools are thought wise when they keep silent. With their mouths shut, they seem intelligent, you see? And this is something that if this woman has some knowledge of, she probably could have applied it, and it probably would have, got her out of this situation. But it says, according to the Chicago police, the argument escalated physically. And, like I said, it doesn't say who put their hands on who first, but I'm pretty sure it probably was the woman. Because these women, they be in that energy, man. I've seen plenty of videos of these women, they'll be getting into an argument with a man and they'll throw a drink on you. They'll slap you. They'll put their hands in your face. They'll get physical because of the lack of respect that these women have for men nowadays. It says escalated physically, and the man poured an unknown fluid over the woman's body before igniting it. The drain then came to a stop and the suspect fled the scene. Police added that the woman stumbled out of the train and fell on the ground. The flames were extinguished before police arrived. And all this happened because of what? Words, arguing. When all you had to do was just be quiet. If this woman, if she was in the right spirit, if she knew her role, she would have been shamefaced. She wouldn't even have engaged in an argument with a man in the first place. She would have just humbled down and be quiet. And what does the scripture tell you about a foolish woman? She is clamorous, man. And like I said, these women, once they get to arguing, it ain't no stopping them. They're going to test. They're going to provoke. They're going to, cross the boundary and cross the lines. You see? And it had to be to the point where this man just had enough. He threw liquid on her and set her ass on fire, man. So it just seems as if she was being the aggressor. Now you might say, "Oh, you just saying that because you a man," blah 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 blah. But hey, we know how these women get down, man, and we know, the modern day woman's, demeanor. It says, the woman stumbled out of the train and fell on the ground. The flames were extinguished before the police arrived. The woman was then transferred to Stroger Hospital, where she is being treated for severe burns and remains in critical condition. You see, it says, Fox 32, one witness says, just seeing her lying on the ground and she wasn't kind of hyperventilating and in a lot of pain. You could tell she was in really bad shape. All the medics were down there, and there was a big turnout as far as responders and so forth. Another witness said, I just saw a lady that was lying on the ground and they were trying to give her CPR. The witness said, adding, and she looked like she was in an awful lot of pain. You see? And like I said, a lot of this, started because of what? Arguing, talking too goddamn much, man. Not using wisdom, not being a circumspect, man, especially in the climate in the world that we're in. All right. And this is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 6 in the NOT. It says, fools' words get them into constant quarrels. They are asking for a beating, you see? And a lot of these women be in that spirit, man. Especially with their words, with their, with their contentment. They're constantly arguing, them thinking that, they're better than the man, that they can beat up a man, that they're more masculine than a man. You see, it says the mouth of fools are their ruin. They trap themselves with their lips, you see. And in this woman's case, she got set on fire and sent to the infirmary and is in critical condition. You see? So this is why it's very wise. I mean, it's very need to be circumspect out here, man. Because we're living in evil times, man. And the love of many is waxing cold, man. You see, like I said, people are unhinged. People are ready to lose it, man. And a lot, especially men, are ready to lose it on a lot of these women. And this is Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And when we go to this word for wax cold, right? The word is psycho. You see, to be made or grow cool or cold, metaphor of waning love. You see, people are, people are on edge, man. People are tired of the bullshit, and men are getting fed up with these masculine, uncouth, bestial like women who are willing to, get into arguments and to get physical with men. See, and we're living in a time to where, these women are going to have to learn the hard way, man. So, you women better be circumspect out there. You better just sit in your place and calm down and keep your mouth shut, man. And one of the wisest things you can do is to just keep your mouth shut, man. Hey, you can be found wise if you just be quiet and just take the L and take the low and let that individual have it, instead of constantly engaging and arguing and fighting and talking shit and spewing out your venomous words and trying to belittle and talk down upon men, especially in this climate and in these times, man. It's going to lead to short strokes and in this woman's case, getting set on fire on the Chicago subway. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. All praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Shem Shai. Lord willing, this was edifying. Be wise out here. Be circumspect. Hey, people are people are psycho, man. So until the next one, Shalom.